Okay. Looks like we are ready to rock and roll here. And we're going to go for it. Welcome, 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 everyone. It is Saturday, January 20th, 2024, and it is time for the AMAs with the amazing Robert Hollis. AMA, of course, being Ask Me Anything, where you get to ask any question of a certified millionaire whose intent and drive and passion is to help each and every one of us go to the next level. His name is Robert Hollis. He's going to be joining us in just a couple minutes. Got to do some housekeeping, though, first as we get things underway. First of all, thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us here on the AMAs. And also for helping us spread the word. We want to spread the word more. We are at 6,876 subscribers because of you, each and every one of you.
Thank
We'd
you, thank you,
love,
thank you.
we'd love to get to 6,900 and 7,000 and of course more, but we're going to take it one step at a time. So please share this, like this, and tell everybody to become a part of our amazing community. Part of that community is also being part of the inner circle, and you can join the inner circle. And what the inner circle does, it goes a little deeper into things with Robert, where he helps guide us. He's our GPS to success, and he takes his experience and shares it with everyone. Success leaves clues. That's the reason why Robert is where he is. And so he loves to share with everybody. And part of the sharing is to help each and every one of us succeed. And in turn, we all succeed. So click on that join button down below if you're watching us on YouTube, or go to roberthollis.com/join. And you could join us there. There's also a link in the YouTube chat. It's at the very top of the chat. Click on that and you'll be taken to the appropriate pages to join the inner circle. Now, to ask questions of Robert, there are several ways to go. I'm going to say hold off on those two, Robert, that are there.
Not clicking.
Good. Okay. To ask Robert a question, several ways. You can, in the YouTube chat, just type your question. We're monitoring the chat and we will ask it on your behalf. Also, you can do the same thing in the Zoom chat. You can type your question in the Zoom chat and we will ask on your behalf. Or what you can do is you can raise your hand to ask Robert a question personally. Very, very simple to do. If you're in Zoom, put your cursor in the middle of the screen. On the bottom, you'll see several buttons. One of those is reactions. Click on that and then click on raise hand, and it will notify us that you have a question that you want to ask Robert. If you don't see the reactions button down on the buttons below, click the three dots to the right of those buttons that says more, and there's a reactions tab. Click on that, and that raise hand button should be there. All right, now with all of that done and over with, let's go ahead and start getting things started. Robert, I loved what you shared yesterday as a way, as part of your everyday successful memes that they are so good. And this one just really hit, at least it hit me very, very nicely. And I think it will hit everybody as we get started with our Ask Me Anything. Success tip. A plan sitting in your head or on your computer is useless without action or reflection. Plan, act, review, tweak, and repeat. So, that being said, we got lots to get to today. Let's get things rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, amazing. He has helped 67 people become millionaires, and he himself is a certified millionaire. And his goal is to help each and every one of us, each and every one of you, do the best that you can to also become a millionaire. Let's give it up for Mr. Robert Hollis!
Thank you very much, Craig. I love and appreciate you. You just keep getting gooder and gooder and the hostess with the mostest. I really, really, really appreciate you. For those of you that are new to Ask Me Anything, our channel, I just pray that each and every one of you one day get someone as credible as Craig Jackman to introduce you. I know that a lot of people sometimes when they hear people introduced like that, their mind goes into, oh my God. But every time Craig does it, it really not only energizes me, but it humbles me. It makes me try to do my very best to live up to that kind of introduction. So, Craig, thank you very much. I love and appreciate you.
Love and appreciate you too, Robert. Thank you so very much.
So I want to start out to just give you guys a little bit of I just always call it reframing. Just reframing your mind about the possibilities. One of the things that I got sort of challenged with, I was watching an interview with a CEO, and he was talking about how challenging it is to consistently look at being successful and happy and fulfilled in the future. And I thought, wow, how many of you are consistently analyzing and planning to really think how you can capture whatever amount of people that you need to help to make your dreams come true? Now, I'm a geek from the dork forest. I tell people this all the time. If you're not a geek, find people that are geeks and let them give you the statistics like I'm going to give you. The thing that I love the most is, a person can go online and now find data, especially with AI, immediately. And so how many people know that there's 331 million people in America? So you go to Google, more than that, but that's what the census was last time. Now, here are some pretty shocking things here. Out of the 331, less than half, 142 million people, actually file with the IRS. Now, when I say file with the IRS, I think people that don't file with the IRS really don't understand America. Whether you like paying taxes or not paying taxes, the people out there that think that they're just going to skirt for the rest of their lives, I don't fit in that category. I don't fit in that category. I file taxes, right? Now listen to this. Out of the 142 million, and for people that are great at math, you can throw an answer in here. 92% of the 142 million people are W-2'd. That means they get a W-2. They get every couple of weeks or every week, they get a little, thing notice with their paycheck. I guess today you log in because it's, auto deposited right into your account. So now here's the next graphic I want to show you, and I'm going to post the link in the chat. I think that you got it already, Craig, but I'm going to post it down here, and I know you'll do all your special stuff with it. So this came out yesterday from the job market. And so check this out. So again, someone's good at math. You can help me out here. So 92% of 142 million people. And then you take 85%. 85% of those people are saying they're looking for something new. So this is up from 67% last year. Almost 20% of people right now in America. So if I really was bad at math and said out of 80% of 130 million, how many people are like, here's why I'm sharing this with you. If you thought like I thought, which I believe that people need to be They need to learn to think. A lot of people don't think. But if I had one digital product and I could only market in the United States, do you guys understand how fast I can crush any company I'm in? Because this is what I look at every day. I'm going like 120 million people in America want something better than they have right now. I can work with 120 million people. How many of you guys see that that's the way my head thinks? So here's the other way my mind thinks. I'm well aware that 98% of the people won't do jack. I just know that in my mind. They want something new. They're just not going to do anything new. I'll say that again. Comfort and complacency is a habit learned just like any other. I have never said that ever. Comfort and complacency is a habit learned just like any other. And as human beings, we have to understand that when we choose to do something or choose not to do it, the choose not to do it virtually wins almost every frickin' time. So I'll never forget in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was these incredible, nice statements that you could buy. It was a trend. And they had these incredible quotes and these statements that you could buy these posters and put them in your office or all over your home or whatever. But it was these incredible positive, statements, like together everyone achieves more, and a nice picture of a bunch of guys rowing a boat or whatever, right? And then there was a funny one that came out where they were actually mocking those quotes. And I couldn't believe how fast they grew on Amazon. There was even a deal about how fast they grew. And they would say something, why do things now when you could do them when you felt like it? Enjoy procrastination. The procrastination, the immediate joy finder. And I think that a lot of people resonated with those thoughts because we're really good at beating the hell out of ourselves, aren't we? We're just so good at beating ourselves up, never ever giving us a pat on the back for anything. Always believing we're not worthy, always believing that we're not enough. Am I the only person that does that? Or you guys go, I didn't realize Robert did that. I put stuff off. I'm always thinking in my mind that I'm missing something. You know what I mean? There's got to be a missing key thing somewhere. You know what I mean? Do you guys think that I constantly think about shortcuts? Every time I ask myself the question, yes, I do. You know what I mean? So when AI came out, I was like, how do you find the 2% of people that want to get off their ass and change their lives? Because that's the only people I really want to send a message to. And it's like, because the other ones are know-it-alls and right fighters and do-nothings, wantrepreneurs. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pretenders out there, isn't there? And so I am okay. Listen closely. Well, I wanted to show you one more piece of documentation. I think this came out today. Yeah, an hour ago. All right. This came out on LinkedIn. And home sales is falling to a near 30-year low. So I don't know about you in other countries. I got Linda and Peter here, and I got Daniel in South Africa. I got Ola from Sweden. You know what I mean? So I got some people here. Sometimes Coach Curtis acts like he's on a different planet. So I'm joking. Dear friend, known him forever. But here's my point. Do you think there's anybody out there other than the propaganda with the media trying to get somebody else elected? Do you think that there's anybody else on the planet that believes the economy right now for people is better than it was 5 years ago? Do you guys know of anyone out there that's popular, that has a podcast, that is going like, pre-pandemic, man, we're past every level pre-pandemic? Or do you think there's a lot of people out there that are going, man, they keep telling us there's nothing wrong, but there seems to be a lot of evidence that that's a little bullshit. You know what I mean? My wife has been very blessed to not have to worry about money. And when we go to California and she goes with our daughter-in-law, Hannah, out to the store to buy stuff, and she comes back and she's complaining about how much stuff costs. Hey, when people that have money are complaining about the prices of shit, it's because they remember a time when it wasn't, right? So here's something I just want to throw out to you guys, because I keep telling you what's made me, after last year, over 60 million. All right. Me consistently, if someone asked me and drilled me and said, Robert, what do you actually do? Tell me what you do. And I would say one of the darkest moments of my life, I was so humbled and didn't understand my identity and was so brokenhearted, broken financially, broken spiritually. I was bankrupt in every area of life. And someone had the courage to reach out to me and say, I met this guy that makes a shitload of money, and he's looking to train people. Do you know of anyone? And I said, me. And I want you guys to know that when I went and seen this information, that I was very open to the information that this individual had, because I was broken in every way. That concept, that, when your mind's like a parachute, when it opens, it works. And so when he gave me some wisdom and then told me a couple of little things that I needed to do, it immediately generated results or evidence for me. Say, I've never made $10,000, $10,210 in 45 days. But it was only 30 days working with him. And so when I got results plus a rank, I was like, all I got to do is find people that have ears to hear. That's all I got to do. And people go, wow, do you really work that hard? And you really go through thousands and thousands and thousands of people to find the right people with the ears to hear? Sounds like a lot of work. Every day it's better than the day before I understood this industry. So I know I got to find a lot of people that are at the right place at the right time in their life. But through those people, every one of them have to go through a little funnel, right? So I find people that are willing to make the decision to watch the videos, but they're not there at the right place at the right time to become a free affiliate. Like that's a really hard decision. So you guys know how good I am at sort of giving people an IQ test. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Microsoft just went by Apple as the largest corporation in the world. Did any one of you hear about Microsoft going by Apple? Why wouldn't this be in the news? And how many of you guys heard that when the CEO got fired of ChatGPT, the first person that hired him and wanted to hire his whole team was Microsoft? So now all of a sudden, Microsoft is sort of ahead of the game by everyone trying to catch up in AI, and they're beating Apple. Here's another one that you guys might not know. We talk about the 200 million subscribers that Amazon has. Do you know that Microsoft has 347 million subscribers? And that's not counting their Xbox subscriptions. Why is it that the largest corporations in the world that are fighting to hit $4 trillion or $3 trillion all have hundreds of millions of people on subscription? I'll just let that sink in, right? So when I did the thing about Amazon, asking people, do you know how Amazon makes their money? And a majority of their money is made by people paying a monthly subscription to their hosting, Amazon web hosting. Not by selling products, by getting subscribers. So I'll share this and then we'll move on. If you don't want to share the videos that I tell you to share, do you realize if you're willing to go through the numbers, saying as little as possible to as many people as you can, as fast as you can, you will find the right people at the right time. Every single time. So I got a neat thing that I want to share with you guys, and I just want you to think about this. So this video link that I shared with you on today, I sent the link. How many of you could send that video and just simply ask, hey, do you know anyone that fits in that 85%? What do you mean? Well, according to this, they did a statistics, and 85% of the people currently working really want something better. Do you know of anyone like that? There's no way that you could share that video with 2,000 people asking that question without someone going, me! And that's the ones that have the ears to hear. Does that make sense to you guys? Are there a group of people that won't watch the video? Yeah. Are there a group of people that won't reply? Yeah. Is there a group of people that watched this video and went, that is an awesome freaking tool. I'm going to start using that to recruit people into my company. What a great way to hit somebody. But you should look at my company. You see what I'm saying? There's a group of people that see that and go, yeah, I don't know who they're talking about. Because there's more than less half the people that are not filing tax returns. That could be because of their age, right? They're either too young to work, or they're too old to work. But still, that 120 million people that want a better life, that's how I do this business. I get excited about that number, knowing that I really only need like 1 million of them on subscription. But every one of you could look at exactly what you're earning at your job. And if your job is to get you or your significant other out of their job to do this full time, you should know what that number is. And all you got to do is push for a moment. You just got to take a minute in time, a moment in time, and you got to try to push as hard as you can with all the limited time that you have to actually create a rank, create a group of people that start duplicating. And then you can slowly let off the gas and just help other people and make incredible money off the check matching. But between you and I do not know of a way to do this business part time. Do I think that you could still find the person that wanted to make a full-time income with MDC? Absolutely. Absolutely. I just like increasing my chances. So instead of throwing 3 darts a week, I'd like to throw 3 darts a minute. See if I can get to 3 darts in 30 seconds. So I thought that would help you guys a little bit. It's like we're constantly thinking that we're missing something, we're not enough, we need to know more, we don't know the process, we don't know the secret. When in reality, if you found a video that you thought a majority of people would look at and go, holy shit, are you kidding me? Because you can't go through 120 million people and not find the 10% that want to make 100,000 plus a year. Got it? So that's the way I think. So I thought I would share that with you guys. It is I see things like this and I go, man, just like the polls that they do for politics, right? I don't care if this poll is 90% off. If 10% of the people that are working make over 100,000, what's 10% of 120? 12 million people in America want to make 6 figures plus. Now, do you guys understand why I'll work with average, ordinary people that don't believe in themselves or like themselves to get them excited enough to introduce me to one of the 10 percenters they know? Think about that. How many of you people are front level to My Daily Choice? Only me. And I wouldn't be doing this business if my wife wouldn't have asked me to. So that means everyone that's on this, that watched this live or recorded, someone reached out to us and we happen to be the right person at the right time. But yet we don't believe there's no more out there. That's so bizarre, isn't it? It's like everyone I reach out to is not interested and does nothing. And I'm going, yeah, and 1% of the people in the world make over $1 million, and that's in everything. That's in everything. So you don't have to be a 1%er. You can be a 5%er and just make over 200,000 a year. No, you don't have to be a 200. You can be a 10%er and just make 100,000 a year. How many people know where I'm going here? You go, well, to be honest, Robert, I don't need 100,000. Well, whatever your number is, there's a group of people that want to make that kind of money. All right. So, Craig, that's my first opening for this one, and wasn't able to do it last week, so I wanted to make sure I get it done on this one.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. What a great opening message, and I hope everybody got that. Let's get out there and do that voodoo that we do so well. Before I see 2 hands raised, Rebecca and Coach Bob, we're going to get to you guys in just a moment. I do want to clarify something because I've had 2 people in the Zoom chat ask. The reason why I have not allowed certain people into the Zoom chat is because I didn't see certain things about their display name that would allow us to bring them in. And the reason why is because we've had people come in and take over the Zoom. people that have shared unwanted visuals and words with us. And so that is the reason why I'm being very selective. We need to know who the people are who come into the chat here in Zoom, so that we don't get disrupted. So please bear with us as we go through those people and their names. We want full names, okay? When for people, not
put a picture in there too, man. If you want to be a part of this inner circle and this group of people that ask questions, you know, I'm not saying that it's a bad name, but when I see Happy Gardener, I'm not letting you in the chat. It's not just Craig. You know what I mean? So, please, please, please. Yeah, you can change back to Happy Gardener on your own podcast.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah, it's not what we're trying to keep you out, because we want the right people in. And those are the words right there. We want the right people coming in here. And because we want to help as many people as we
they're
can.
about ready to fall out of their chair here. It was Happy Farmer.
Happy Gardener.
Oh, no, I see what he's saying now.
But the Happy Farmer. Okay. Now, come on, Peter, Linda.
That was funny. That was funny.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your understanding on that. And, if they couldn't get in today, next week, let's work on that. Because once I say you can't come in, you can't come into the Zoom chat. You can still participate in the YouTube chat. You can go ahead and ask your question, and we'll ask it on your behalf. So thank you very much for the indulgence there. Let's get this party started. All right. Rebecca, you're coming up, but first, Coach Bob's hand went up. So, Coach Bob, I'm going to unmute you. There you go. Please open up and share with us.
Hey, Robert, Craig, Matt, how's it going?
I'm blessed and highly favored and deeply loved. How are you doing?
Same here. So my question is on disciplines, routines, and habits, Robert. I kind of want to build off what you're doing. I always get caught where I want to do like certain things, and I should be doing these things, contacting people, and it's just
avoidance activity.
Oh gosh. And how do you get your mindset so it's in the right mindset to get to those things that you don't want to do?
I got sticky stuff all over my monitors. And I also do little things on my the settings on my phone. And they're just like alarms. Just enough to go, stop doing unproductive things. Now, here's what's really, really cool. The discipline part comes, Bob, because I know you guys have heard this phrase many times, but if you go back to the Earl Nightingale guys, the Wallace Waddle guys, the old people, the Rockefellers, the Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, the Bob Proctors, if we go back to ancient wisdom, they say it's simple to change. All you need to do is find one thing. Now, back then, I still think you could do this. Is you grab a physical calendar, order one, just so you got it on the wall someplace.
Sure.
And you figure out something, and then you want to reduce it to the ridiculous. Prove to yourself that you can create a new habit. And this will do everything in your life. It'll change everything in your life. And it can just be one thing that lasts little times. Like I was telling people, this might be difficult for physical people, but if you could just walk around your house, or just walk around the whole inside parameter of your house, you know what I mean? And discipline yourself, and not only doing it at the same time every day, but discipline yourself in not doing more. Because that's where our mind takes over. then mine either says bullshit, I'm going to put it off. I don't think that was going to do anything. And the other thing is that a lot of us are programmed to grow. So when we get bored, that's when we want to do some kind of activity. Now, the activity does not have to lead to productivity. Oh, no, yes, it does. Especially if there's things in your life that you don't like. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there were little things that I did at the beginning, Bob, that my mentors taught me. I was unaware of this. One was, to just force myself. When we talk about you find the right people that have the ears to hear, when I tell people that my mentor told me to journal 48 hours, just write down when I did any of it. See, I already know that 99% of the people are going, I ain't doing that. That's bullshit. I ain't doing it. Because they just are rebellious. They say they want things to change. They're just not willing to change. I was a person that was so desperate that I didn't understand, nor did I need to understand why my mentors did the shit they did. Not interested. Didn't want to figure it out. And I even had told myself, Bob, which is a part of personal responsibility that was huge for me. There was just one time in that dark moment where I went, I personally made decisions to get me where I am. And I don't know how to get myself out. That was the thing I needed to say in asking for help to anything that was out there. And so now when I met somebody and they go, hey, Robert, what I want you to do is I want you to go to a bookstore, buy this book, read it, and then call me. See, the only reason for doing things like that is to actually see if people are coachable, that they're at the right place at the right time. They really have drawn a line in the sand and said, listen, I don't want to live like this anymore, which would be a great line to say to somebody. Hey, Coach Bob, yeah. Have you talked to anybody recently that just is sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Yeah.
Now,
Yes,
there might be a large group of people that watch my videos and think that me asking from the side door approach is stupid. Well, great. They just have to show their evidence of why they think their way's better. But my whole thing is that you discipline yourself by looking at the activities that keep you busy, that makes you lie to yourself. And then you just become to the awareness, I like right now, I'm telling you guys this weekend, and don't get upset. Don't get upset. This weekend, I'm going to really do some personal inventory on myself. And I really don't know if I'm going to do a video live every day in 2024. I didn't say that I wasn't going to do a video. It's that we're starting to figure out that the people that show up on my lives every day and the AMAs every Saturday are just the same people. So I want to grow my audience. So if I got to grow my audience, if I can do that by doing certain things live and the rest of the stuff, because I'm still going to do Inner Circle. I'm still going to do podcasts. But if I'm doing a video live every day, then 2 years ago, I decided to do a live every day on Facebook. And I'm not one of those people, Bob. I'm just not. I'll go like, well, I need to keep doing this because Jim Joe Bob said it. No, I go, I did that. I thought that was the right thing to do. I now look back at it. It didn't get me the results that I wanted. So I'm done. And you asked Matt about this and Craig about this. A lot of people, I know I'm a weirdo, and I know that no one has the same DNA I have. So I don't want to pretend that I know how to do everything correctly, but I'm going to lessen my way to success. Right? And so then I said, I'm not doing Facebook anymore. I'm going to do a YouTube live. And to think that I did so many Facebook Lives that I still call YouTube Lives Facebook Lives, right? But I will consistently find things that others that got results say that they're doing. And I'm not the guy that's going to try it out for 3 days. I'm the guy that's going to put, if there's 366 days this year, I'm going to do 366 videos and then I'm going to evaluate. Did you guys come what I'm saying? Sure. So there's a lot of people out there that teach stuff, but they don't have the evidence. So when you're talking about discipline, you know the things. And again, this is a great phrase for people. You can't change what you don't measure. You can't change what you don't measure, and just stop lying to yourself. It's like, well, someone told me I need to make 3 posts a day and they need to be at this time. And, you know, Jimmy's doing this and Mary's doing this and, you know, Joe Bob's doing this. And you're doing that stuff and you can't find one person you personally enrolled that came in from you posting on LinkedIn. Not frickin' one. And I'm the kind of guy that asks, hey, Coach Bob, how'd you hear about me? Well, I heard about you from this person. Okay, great. And then I followed this person, and that's how I got a hold of you. I'm always asking. So do I post every day on Twitter? Yeah. Do I post every day on LinkedIn? Yes. Do I post on my Facebook business page? Yes. Ask me why.
Why?
I don't know. I'm being honest. Now, how I justify doing stuff that I haven't measured a result from is I justify it by, it didn't take me that long. I've gotten such a habit with it that I can make a post on all those networks and do it in 10 minutes. So I'm just going to throw it out there and keep doing it. But now I need to add a habit to it. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I keep adding other habits to it that others say that gives them a better result, then I'm going to double down on that one that got me more evidence and results and start eliminating things because I'm too busy. See, most people just keep doing the same shit over and over and over again, and they got no results, so they just keep doing the same shit over and over. It's pretty mind-boggling, but the smartest people on the planet knew that people did that because they wrote about it. Everybody knows that all of us have habits that are comfortable and complacent. And to us and the rest of the world, it makes us feel like we're productive. When if anyone ever nailed you, if any of you have ever hired a personal coach that's worth any grain of salt, they would ask you, tell me what you're doing. And then they would say, I wouldn't do that. Now, does that get the person to stop that? No. Isn't that crazy?
Right.
It's like, you know, if I were you, Robert, had a guy tell me this straight out, Evan Carmichael. He goes, Robert, you're doing lives every day. Yeah. Do you do it every day? I said, almost every day. What? What? You paused. You asked me the question. You paused. Well, I just have never gotten really any subscribers or nothing out of my lives. But if you're getting something, you know, maybe you should do it. Me personally, I would do a really good video and then edit it and upload that video. So that's what I'm going to be thinking over the weekend.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But how long, I mean, it took you a year. Do you think you could have came to that decision like 6 months into it or evaluated it earlier that you're doing? Do you know what I'm saying? Like at what point do you say to yourself, gosh, this isn't, because you don't want to cut it off too short, like give it a
Right.
month, but was a year too long, I guess. And I'm just saying this to my own self,
Yeah.
like what I'm doing.
I think that you got to keep realizing how unique you are, and that we're all trying to find that perfect sweet spot. And I don't know why, and maybe I shouldn't take that class, but usually around me, as I reevaluate things like a lot of people do at the end of the years, and then I reevaluate things around Terry's birthday and my birthday. There's just certain times where I sort of reflect and going, and see, for me, I've really learned to not beat myself up. I just know that I'm on a journey of progression. And when I'm addicted to progress. And as long as I can see measurable progress,
Right.
then I'm a double downer. I'm split those two and put it down 4. I just increase my work ethic and the amount of content that I'll focus in on one thing when it creates, incredible stuff. And so, yeah, so I got to say, there's not like a certain time for me when all of a sudden it's great to have advisors around you. I mean, Craig and Matthew, they're constantly people that are listening to some of the stuff and different stuff than I'm listening to. And Matt always, the phrases that you all should be asking yourself. It's neat to have someone accountable that will ask you the question that you should ask yourself.
Right.
So whenever I get a little frustrated, wanting things to move faster than they're currently going, right? That's when the perfect Robert Hollis producer, will get hit with an advertising that's basically ramped around a shortcut. And so I'll watch it and get a little intrigued, and then I mess up. No, I don't mess up. I send it to Craig and Matt. And because of Craig's loyalty and focus, all he does is ask a simple question. And he's going, well, Robert, when you asked me to be a part of the Visionaries, this wasn't where we were going. I thought that this is where we're going. This is what we're trying to get to. And I'm like, Craig, you need to shut up. No, I just, I go, you're absolutely right. You're right. Thanks for the hip check, the hockey check, whatever it is. And then Matt, every time I say, hey, have you seen this guy? Or have you thought of this? Or maybe we should do this. And then Matt will say to me, really simple. So, it's like that joke that you hear about, when you're dating somebody, don't do things in an intimate way with somebody that you don't plan on doing for the rest of your life. So as men, I'll just generally say this, as men, we're like, wow, if you could only be the way you were when we were dating, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, but now I'm a wife and a mother and a grandmother. And you made me that. Like, damn.
Dang
it. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's so I'm sorry that it might sound like I'm being a little vanilla with my answer, but Matt will say to me, what are we doing 2 years from now? What are we doing 3 years from now? Because he's had to listen to this for 32 years.
Right.
From me. Is this what you're going to be doing 3 years from now? No, I'd rather be doing something different. Then why are you wasting time getting good at something? I'll share one other thing. Matt sent me, Craig and Matt both sent me incredible videos. And you know who Marcus Brownlee is?
I think I've heard of him, man.
Yeah, he's a guy that's got, 5 or 8 million followers. He does all kinds of tech interviews on stuff like Tesla and Apple and all
Yeah,
that stuff. And he did a YouTube video the other day that Matt sent to me that said, why are the biggest YouTube people quitting? Now that would get your attention, wouldn't it?
Right. Oh, yeah.
And what he said is that at the beginning, when you're a creator and you got 8 legs like an octopus, that you're a writer, you're a copywriter, you're a thumbnail creator, a graphic designer, you're a video editor, you're a content creator,
Right.
you're on all these social medias. And he's going, what ends up happening is that as soon as you get big, then all of a sudden someone reaches out to you and says, hey, Coach Bob, we've been watching your following and the stuff that you're sharing. And what would you charge us to come speak 45 minutes on our stage? By the way, well, we'll pay for first class travel. We'll pay for your room and you get here and meals. But what additional costs would you need? And you go, no, I couldn't do it for less than 5,000. And they go, great, can you invoice us? We'll get you that right away. Well, now out of nowhere, you're like a speaker. That's still okay. It's pretty awesome, right? Your YouTube goes crazy. And then someone says, man, if you had something to sell when you were in front of the room. You see where I'm going?
Right. Sure.
It's like, what do you mean? Like a book? Come on, man. Write a book. So if you're standing in front of these large audiences everywhere, you got a damn book to sell. Well, a lot of my speaking engagements were in South America. So if you go on Amazon or Audible, these 2 books are in Spanish. Are you see where I'm getting?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, now you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this. And you try to cut the arms off the octopus of the stuff that you need someone else to take over. So now I got someone way better than me that's doing thumbnails, way better than me that's doing graphics, way better than me that's doing all the things that used to take up all my time, including the part that you loved the most, which was creating. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And now all of a sudden you're trying to maintain that life, but you feel like I'm not that person anymore. Now what am I going to do? I think when people look at me, I don't want them, well, what do you do to make money? I'm a YouTuber. No, isn't it a little better to go, well, honestly, I own 4 or 5 businesses. I'm an author. I'm an international speaker.
It's much better.
Yeah. And so you sort of challenge yourself. And so it's a good video to watch because it just makes you think again. Like I started in this it's like if you really are consistently thinking and you guys are dreaming, which another part of dreaming is imagination. If there's any habit that every one of you should do is dedicated time every day to creating that vision that can get you emotional, that gets you to get up every day and do something about it. So if I could give anybody anything, it would be to give you a vision of what you could create in your future life that would turn you on 24 hours a day. Because that's the difference between the 1%ers and the rest of the world. Is you ask them, what else do you do other than this? And they go, you don't get it. I love this. And at the time that I said that, Cory Santa raises his hand, and it's like, that guy's in character 24 hours a day. I see Cory waking up because he heard a noise and he looks at his window and there's a couple of reindeer there. You know what I mean? I just, it's when you can be so on purpose and passionate and intentful of what your thing is, that's when your level of success and fulfillment will just skyrocket. It'll just go, and everyone will call you lucky. Everyone will call you lucky. And I see that Cory Santa's on here. And here's one thing that people don't want to admit is if you really pinned Corky down or me down and go, all I need is just a step by step way to get 1.5 million followers, to make $1 million a year in some kind of home-based business. Brutally saying this, neither one of us can honestly answer that question, because we're still asking ourselves, how the hell did we get here? We got a lot of things that we can contribute to it. Like someone told me about this book, or I hired this person as a coach, or something inspirational from this podcast was the thing that really switched me on. But because we're all unique in our journey, that's why some people do it as teenagers and other people do it in their 80s. It's like, it's bizarre. It really, really is bizarre. So I hope that wasn't a roundabout way of saying it.
No, great. I appreciate your help. Yeah, it helped out a lot.
Yeah, and just constantly to build that, just constantly ask yourself that question. Is what I'm doing right now see, most people don't know what they want. They haven't taken the time to design their perfect day, which always changes, always changes. So if you're constantly thinking about your perfect day 3 years from now, and you're getting emotionally involved in that, and now what you got to do is ask the things that are taking your time. Is this an activity that I do to avoid what I'm supposed to be doing more than ever? Tonight, I'm going to be watching MMA fights again, because I used to be a professional fighter, and I love that. And when you hear guys that lose a match that say they got to go back to the drawing board, all that's saying is that person in that camp figured out where I was weak. Now, if you get back in the ring, if you're not willing to work on that weakness, that's what sucks in life, because now it gets exposed every frickin' day. Everybody wants to be better. But if you're really open with yourself and honest with yourself, so when Mike Tyson got knocked out, every frickin' boxer on the planet that fought in that weight division watched it. He blocked the right punch. He jerked his head back for the uppercut. Then he knew the left was coming, and he ducked underneath it, and he caught him with a right hook. Okay, I know what 6 punches he's throwing. I know how to block 3 of them and catch his chin wide open. And no one wants to talk about Tyson's later years, because he did the same shit he's done his whole life. And so the chin kept opening up and he kept getting knocked out. And every one of us has that individual that we watch, especially in sports, where we go, just please retire. God dang it. I want to remember you the way you was. Now every time you step in, you're just not that person anymore. So, Coach Bob, if you can find out what you want, get really passionate about it, then just work on that awareness. Is what are some things that could get me to that goal faster? And usually if you ask yourself those questions out loud, you really always know the answer. And on Ask Me Anything's an Inner Circle, that's where you could say, hey, Robert, you told me to ask that question. You know, I asked that question. I didn't come up with an answer. Because in the world, especially the way I'm looking at it today, with you can achieve any dream you want in the world by just how many subscribers you got. How many happy, loyal subscribers do you have? See, if I ask Corky that question, every one of you want his answer. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
like, oh, what I would do with over 1 million subscribers and followers. I would love it. Yeah, are you willing to do what he did? No, I'm too busy scrolling on Facebook and thinking of reasons why I'm a piece of garbage. Yeah, Corky doesn't get to do that because he's spending too much time talking to people that their spirits are lifted.
Right.
And when their spirits are lifted, it lifts his spirit. And so he constantly has a different experience than a lot of you. It's like, I can't believe I was live for 9 hours. What? Hey, you work 8 hours a day and hate your freaking job. Why can't I spend 8 hours live talking to people and lifting their spirits? So thank you, Coach Bob. You always,
Yeah, love and appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
Avoidance activity. I haven't brought that up in a long time. That's a good video.
All right.
How much avoidance activity do you do?
And Robert is going to be preparing one for us for later in the week, is what it sounds like.
Or a video that's uploaded. No, I'm kidding.
Now, I am going to apologize to Rebecca and to Ola, who asked a question in the chat, because since Corky is on and we've spent a little time talking about Corky, and he raised his hand during this previous conversation. Corky, why don't you go ahead and open up and please share with us? I think
Yeah, give us an update, man. I love an
update. Excuse me. It's so nice to see everyone. It's so nice to be in here. I stay so busy that it's hard for me to be on here a lot of the time.
January 20th, and you finally took a break from Christmas.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. One of I have so many things happening and going on, but I am not in network marketing.
Good.
Robert helped me go in a whole different direction because of his passion for mankind, or for Corky. That's his heart.
Yeah.
I'm in his group. I'm front line to Terry. I'm front line. Yep. I got a great position that I could tee off on. I have been trying to make network marketing go for, I can't tell you how many years. I knew Robert when we were in the same group together 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
Yep.
I mean, I wasn't in his group, but I knew about Robert at that time, was Equinox. But I like the mentoring and stuff that, who was in charge of that real quick? Bill Gould. I just loved. I learned. Bill Gould started me on a path to think that maybe I'm thinking wrong, and maybe there's a better way to think. That's the bottom line. And from that point on in my life, I went, oh, there's people that know more about this, and I can change. I have control of my destiny. You know, that kind of thing. So, and I watched Robert in certain places do it. He wasn't in very long, and then I got out because, what happened with that anyway. But one of the things that Robert, since I've been watching here recently in the last year or two closely, is that your group isn't going, it's always the same people in here. And that makes me question also. That makes me question. But I'm here because of Robert and the friendships that I do have in here. I'm not real close to many of you at all. I think you would like to be closer. I don't have a lot of time.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't connect with Robert every week. I bounce in here, or if I have a question, I'll mention it to him, and he's happy to help me anytime I have a question. But he sent me off into the path that I have 2 million followers now.
Wow. So, nice.
But you sent me on a path that I knew I had some passion for. I knew I was getting some results. I didn't know what to do at that time. Now I've got 2 people hired that do stuff for me. My YouTube podcast is just the beginning of doing something, but that was Robert's suggestion. Hey, maybe you need, I've got some people helping me now, and they're on a payroll kind of thing. And That's exactly what it is. And Robert, I was gonna get a hold of you because, man, now what do you do when you're in the winter of your professional life? It's a little wintry right now for me. Things have really slowed down financially. The followers have really showed, the algorithms changed. That's why I decided to go off into YouTube land for a little bit. Not for a little bit. I'm going to be doing that.
Yep.
But Robert, one of the main things you have taught me is to stick it out for the time. Just keep going, even in the winter. You just keep doing what you've been doing, but you shift the angle a little bit. And you got me thinking the other day when you were talking about subscribers. Now I have 700 subscribers that pay every month on TikTok.
Do they pay different amounts?
What do you mean?
Do your subscribers pay different amounts of money?
No, they pay one set amount. I can change it if I want.
How much is that?
$5.99 a month.
Okay,
is what I set it at. That's what I have a choice of $2.99, $5.99, or $10.99 or $9.99. I think I just decided to leave it at that. They changed that in the last 6 months to where you could charge differently.
Got it.
And I can count on a couple thousand, 3,000, and I only get a portion of that. TikTok keeps about 70% of it, but I only get a portion. But I can count on a couple grand a month just off my subscribers. But my subscribers, I have a whole community around them. Those are the real. I mean, that's why I'm a dedicated inner circle person.
Yeah.
Just because I know what that means. I understand that. And if I expect that I'm going to receive that, I have to be a part of that. I subscribe to a few people in TikTok. I subscribe to you. I don't subscribe to anybody else on YouTube, but I decide to subscribe to you. So I'm doing what I would want somebody to do for me. Right. So, but I have always questioned why is it the same community in here all the time?
I'll tell you exactly.
I get it. I kind of get it because I'm changing. I'm making some very similar changes.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly the way it is people will learn information, but if they don't execute on that information long enough to get a desired result, they just don't feel comfortable promoting it.
Then they're doing the wrong thing.
Yes, I know.
If you're in here and you're not growing and going, go find something else to do. I hate to tell your people that, like, don't waste your time. Don't waste our time. I say our time, Robert's time, just being in here, floating around and showing up. I have the same people showing up in my subscriber group all the time. I'm changing that. I'm changing that.
Before
people get jealous of other people coming in, and
you came here for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So what if everything that you do can continue to take care of the 700 people that you have, and you just add other things to attract others?
Right.
Because I used to be that way. You know, the reason that I stopped doing my brand, my courses, is because I personally took so much interest in the people that were paying a lot of money for my courses, that when they weren't doing them and not getting results, then I said, why should I do this? Screw it. And you got to understand, Corky, that you're put on this planet to be a voice and a feeling for those that need it, but don't expect somebody else. It's for you and I, we shouldn't have any expectations on people that find us. That's difficult, but you got to understand that if there was a group
so it's okay. Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. No, I'm not. It's okay to let somebody just be mediocre.
Yeah,
and move. It's okay.
Mediocre. See, that's us. That's us placing a label or judgment on people that don't even show up. So the people that are subscribed to you that don't invite anybody or don't bring anybody.
Oh yeah, I have tons of that.
Yeah, and they just show up. Let them just show up and love up on them, and don't look at them for what they're not doing. Look at them as going, wow, there's $8 billion on 8 billion people out there. You know, if 50% of them can get on the internet, at least these people are loving up on us and giving us support and giving us energy. If they don't want to do with what we gave them, that's not us to judge.
Yeah, Robert, the thing is, I didn't want to keep showing up on your lives, not being a producer. I mean, I did not want to show up as a producer for My Daily Choice. I didn't, because
but you're showing up. You're showing up because you're bringing joy and love and happiness to humanity. That's my audience. My audience isn't people that do good in MDC.
I don't get that. I don't get that. That is so, maybe I'm too 80s thinking. I don't know.
No. I'll give you another one. There's a weird thing that I talked about in a video. You know, the Swift effect.
Yes.
So if you know what that is, you know what that is. And so when everyone started going out and being haters and going, I'm so sick and tired of everyone talking about Taylor Swift. Do you know there's a whole group of people that came out and went after the haters?
Oh, really? Yeah.
And it wasn't their fans. It was fathers thanking Taylor Swift for connecting them with their daughters.
Interesting.
So now their daughters are coming in and going, is Travis Kelce playing today? No, he plays tomorrow, sweetheart. Early game or late game? Late game. I want to watch it with you, Dad. Well, why? Well, because he's dating Taylor Swift and we'll get the chance to see her.
Right.
And now it's showing fathers all over the world singing Taylor Swift songs with their daughters.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Now, I don't think these guys are subscribed to her channel.
No.
Nor do I believe that the girls are subscribed to Travis Kelce's podcast. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Like, if we would just allow people, because here's the other thing I've had to deal with in building an audience, is as soon as you start believing or wanting, having expectations instead of appreciation and gratitude, is when I first became an author, to think that other authors told me that the people that I love the most, that I want most to read the book, won't.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh my God, one of the only people that I would love to give me any praise or recognition would be my mom, even though I wasn't close to her.
Mm-hmm.
But no, she thought it was, I put them in a book so the pictures wouldn't bend, and she threw my book away.
Yeah.
So I could allow that one person that I wanted to get a connection with before she died, and I could feel really sad and tell people, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Robert. Or I could focus on the 100 testimonials that I have on my YouTube channel of people talking about how much they love my book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we just always find yourself going, why do I expect these people to do anything? Because that's a selfish reason. That has nothing to do with people. I have people that send me a message every single week because they can't be on my lives, including the AMA.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Robert, just wanted to let you know, I just watched your replay of your AMA. I love this. I love that. I'm so glad of this. And their testimonials and what they're getting out of the AMA is just putting me on the top of the world. So now I've gotten really good at the people that are being there, being loving and being supporting, that I make sure that I give them a shout out and tell them how much I love and appreciate them. Because a lot of time what we do is we focus too much on the people that are not doing what we want them to do.
Yes.
Okay. And so I don't need anybody to make, I don't need anybody to make a check and my daily choice for me to love them.
Right. You've proven that to me.
Yeah. And so your thoughts of not being live on what I'm doing as your thoughts to be worthy and enough to be in my audience to love and support me, you needed to do something in MDC.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nope.
I felt guilty that I was taking from you without giving back.
But you're giving back based off the inner circle conversations that you and I had before you made the decision to get rid of all the avoidance activity and focus on TikTok with Corky.
Yep.
So I was blessed, God blessed me, and putting in your path.
Mm-hmm.
Be bold and honest enough with you that I knew you would, if you focus on the thing that gave you the most joy,
Mm-hmm.
that you would get the largest harvest.
Mm-hmm.
So just because everyone around you is planting wheat doesn't mean you should be planting apples or corn.
Right. Right. And it's just like, I mean, I'm telling you, Robert, here's a movie script. We're getting, that's just one. I'm getting another offer.
2 million followers. 2 million followers, got a movie script. What else you got going on?
I ordered some reindeer, so those are coming. I'm looking at property way out of my comfort zone property so I can have this reindeer wonderland that people can come to and orphans can come to and ride in a sleigh behind the reindeer because everybody wants to ride in the sleigh. Or it could be a honeymoon couple sitting there, or a couple having their 50th anniversary to ride on a sleigh through the woods behind reindeer during the season.
So wait, Corky,
So
you shared this vision with me years ago.
Yeah. It's coming true.
Corky, how is it possible for you to create a vision within your dreams and your imagination and constantly be focused on it every day?
Because I have evidence every day it's going to happen. I
have
evidence every day it's going to happen.
Can I interrupt for just a moment? There is somebody here who would like to share based on this conversation.
Yeah.
And I know that she's in a situation where I think she needs to kind of share right now. So I'm going to ask her to unmute and share. Melody Ryba.
Oh, what an honor.
Holy smokes. Hello, Santa Corky. You've got my heart. I love you so much. And Robert,
wow.
You know, I apologize for interrupting. I just needed some quiet time while I'm here surrounded by a ton of people. And I needed to speak to this topic, Robert, on your behalf. You know, I just sit here and I grin ear to ear listening to you every single time. And you were talking about, you know, why is Robert's calls not growing? And I have been speaking to this to many people lately. And Robert, I was just speaking with Mary, and I gave her a challenge. And I said, I'm on here, that it's my non-negotiable to be on your calls every single time. I don't care where I am, what I'm doing, what appointment there is. It's non-negotiable for me to be on these calls. And Robert, you taught me that with non-negotiables.
Yeah.
My morning ritual, my prayer time, all of the things which I hold near and dear to my heart, but not as much as I hold you to my heart. I love you so much, my friend. And we were speaking of, because I get an attendance. I actually have to have somebody read the chats, read me who the participants are, and all of that on these calls. And I've been doing that for years. And the reason being is because it's the people that are only on the calls are the ones that get my attention, the ones that get my time. And I've told people from the very beginning, look, if you're not on the calls, if you want to work with me, you want to work with Robert, you got to be on Robert's calls. And the thing that helped me in the beginning, Robert, was making sure that anybody that I came in contact with, if they answered the question, who do you know that needs to make extra money, wants a happier life, more fulfillment and joy in their life, it was non-negotiable for them to be on your calls.
Right.
And I would get on those calls and I would take attendance. And I was not happy if there was less than 89% of the people I invited on these calls. I mean, that's the way it is. So if you guys are struggling, it's because you're not getting enough people on these calls. Don't be a knowledge hoarder. Don't be a wisdom hoarder. Share Robert with people. Make it mandatory. You guys are saying, oh, you're signing up this person and that person and your team is growing. They need to be on these calls, because if your team is growing, these calls are growing. And that's how you have success. I know.
That's what makes me think is that the team is not helping you make this grow through, I could invite people outside the circle of my daily choice.
But I love what
I see you changing to where I can do that. I can see you changing to where I can
it's changing.
I bring my team in. I want to bring my team in so they can hear this. I actually shared part of it. You did one about the subscription thing with my one of my team members.
Yeah.
I mean, that these are people that, when I say on my team, these are people in my inner circle that I pay,
But that's what they do. So Melody, thank you. It made my heart just blow up and fill up. I haven't heard your voice in a long time on one of our on one of our Zooms. So thank you so much for coming on here.
I couldn't sit here and be quiet. I'm just like, and I was, like I said, I just talked to Mary yesterday about this and saying, why is this not growing? I've shared it with Craig. I think I used the word appalling, because for me to give, if you get any value out of Robert, you're going to show up, you're going to follow him, you're going to invite people, and don't keep that for yourself. Don't take what Robert is teaching you, and not only some of us ignore it, right? Some of us procrastinate it, but some of us take it as our own and teach our own teams, when you can be giving them the cream of the crop instead of your interpretation of what you're learning from Robert. Get them straight to the source.
Especially the way that he does this, Melanie, especially the way he does it, his group is still consistently growing worldwide compared to, I'm connected with all kinds of network marketers. I'm Santa for other network marketers, just to let you know. That are big people out there, and I know their teams are falling apart like crazy. I love Ray Higdon because I'm aligned with him spiritually, and I like listening to him at 6 o'clock every morning. He does a little live thing. Only 25 people to 80 people to 30 people show up, but I like what he brings. It feeds me for the day, gets my day. That's part of my little routine. And I love Ray Higdon, but I know he's frustrated because he has not mentioned it or anything like that.
Of course not.
I just know what's happening out there in this economy world. People can't justify, because they're not doing anything. They're not growing and growing. That's why I said earlier, I couldn't come on your lives, because I'm a little different in how I do my world, but I know it's just a matter. I pick up nuggets all the time, Robert, from you. because you're doing something. And Melanie, you're dead on. You're perfect. I mean, it reminds me of back the way we used to do it. Bring them to the meeting. Bring them to the meeting at hotel, whatever. If you're not, you're not going to.
I always tell people, if you can't get your people to do things, then maybe somebody else can get them to do things. But if you're not willing to give praise and recognition to someone other than you, they're never going to know who you learn from. So when people look at all my stats and what I've done in my life, I still feel my number one trait in the marketing world is the ability to give edification and promotion to someone other than me. I still, to this day, I'm always talking about, things like that. And Melody, again, I thank you so much for your kind words. And I just want to be the most I can be for people in the time that they need me. I've now been doing this for 37 years, and I just honestly just see that, like, the way that you thought, Corky, is the way that I see a lot of people, where if they plug into me and they see how passionate and on purpose I am of getting them to do something that would create an evidence and result for them, and they don't do it, it's like I see them disappear. Because if they can't figure out among themselves if this is the right time in their life that they really should be introducing people to whatever I'm doing, then they do like you did. They just stop showing up. And I totally understand that. I totally understand that. I now look at everyone that's in my life for the season that they're in it, as I'm just so appreciative of that. I am so grateful for that. And when I can watch some of the people out there that have 40 and 50 and 3 and 4 million subscribers, now, Matt has been able to get me to understand how to use a software. I think it's called like Blade Runner or something. And you're the thing that you think they got going on, the social blade, the thing that you think they got going on, and then you see the data behind it, and you just realize that they don't.
But I don't understand what you mean. Can you say that?
Well, it'd be like if you, from the appearance, you could see somebody, and let's just bring him up because I love him, Ray. I paid for his coaches. I paid over $48,000.
Oh, okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so the thing that you see, and then you go to Social Blade, because Matt helps me. See, I'll see somebody, Corky, and I go, man, look at the way he acts. Listen to what they're talking to, male and female. Look at what they're doing. They really look like they got everything going on. And then Matt will send me their data compared to our data.
You're right.
Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They look like they're crushing it to the world, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this day and age, I just know in my heart, it's been my calling since I found this industry. My goal is to give the wisdom to people to help them learn to make extra money on a monthly basis in whatever they're doing, and to lean into that and make more, and lean into that and make more. So a lot of people don't realize is it's not been very long. When you hear, companies like Google or whatever, they just had their 10th anniversary or something like that. It just really blows my mind that we live in a day and age where someone can learn to love themselves and then teach other people how to be inspired and have hope and fall in love with themselves, and just use that voice and their voice and create a following and a subscribership that can allow them to keep doing more of that. And so 37 years ago, I wasn't aware, Corky, of any other way that you could do that other than network marketing.
Right.
See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And now me and Matt have talked about this. If someone came to me tomorrow or today, or even on this on this Ask Me Anything, and said, I need to make money now, right today. What should I do? Become an Uber driver.
Mhm.
So there's a lot more options right now that a person could do and get immediate income into their pocket from doing some result and getting a paycheck right away. Because companies like that have figured out that people are not long-term thinkers. They're short-term thinkers.
Mhm.
That's the way we've taught people. It's this instant gratification. So the companies that are giving people instant gratification right now are the ones that are winning.
Mhm. Exactly.
Whether it's scrolling and hearting up and liking, Santa Corky's post on TikTok
Mhm.
or his video. But that's a way to service mankind in this day and age. And some of the stuff that I've done to generate my millions are a little more long-term.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So finding people at the right time in their place, it's almost like they got to continue to do things that are not generating long-term geometric progression, because if you came on here today and you said, well, Robert, you said I was at 1.5 million. I don't know what happened, but I lost, 75% of my audience. You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh my God. And then you got states like I live in that it's bizarre to me that that the state of Montana is getting away with the stuff that they're getting away with. So they just call up the company and say, listen, anyone that dials into your service from IP address Montana, if you allow them to come in, we're suing you.
Hmm.
And their TikTok's the next on their list.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand. But Corky, thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you so much.
And giving us that testimonial. I love you so much. So now that you know that anytime you can get on here, we want to hear from you.
Well, thank you. And I wanted to thank the people that were so graciously, you guys let me go ahead of you. You had your hands up before me. Thank you so much. I really
I was gonna ask you, am I still the leader for what was the things that there was only one thing that I could figure out how to gift you on a TikTok. So I don't remember what it was now, but
Right.
you're like, no one's giving me more unicorns than you or whatever they were.
I forget what that was, but I forget. I think you are. I forget what it was that you gave. I don't know, but
Knowing me, I just kept clicking on the ones that had the highest value. And then I would put coins in and I would just keep clicking it. I know that I clicked that button
right.
at least a couple thousand times. So that was
I'm just really intrigued about the new subscriber thing, and that fits right along with what everyone else is doing too. Within my daily choice,
and I'll tell you what I'll tell you right now I'll tell you a factor that will make me keep doing YouTube lives. I just love my super chatters.
Yeah.
If someone right now said, out of everyone that's in your organization and all you're following, it would be my inner circle followed by my super chatters.
Right. Right.
Because that allows me to give more to children.
Right. That's exactly what I use my subscriptions for. I could tell you story after story coming up to this season, but it was my subscribers and it was my inner circle people that made Christmas for so many people. And I mean, one in mind itself is a lady come on and she says it's going to be horrible this year. And I go, what do you mean it's going to be horrible? This is in comments, just putting in comments. She says, I have a 7-year-old daughter and I have no money for Christmas. Now on social media, you get all kinds of people. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But inside me said, go back and look at the comment again. Go back and look at the comment again. And then I delve into it a little bit more while we are there. And while she was on that live, while that live was going on, we generated $775. So this 7-year-old girl could have a Christmas. And mom, I mean, and then but the cool thing is she sent pictures to us. She followed up, right? And now she is in our life. She's part of our community like nobody else can believe, because of that kind of stuff. So that's exactly why I'm talking, why I get excited about, okay, we're going to dive deeper in the subscription. I'm going to start giving more for it. You subscribe to me. We're going to have a Zoom call just for subscribers where you can come on and I'll bring your kids. Let's talk to them. It's January, actually it's going to be February. I'm going to have a shoulder. I wrecked my my electric bike. My wife and I got electric bikes and I wrecked it. So, I tend to
How old are you?
I'll be 70 this year. I put a bigger motor on it. So it goes faster and stronger.
Of course you did.
I'm a hot rod guy. So we gassed it up a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to have shoulder surgery here in about 10, 12 days. So anyway, no, that's the other part of this. Man, don't use the excuse you're too old.
Yeah.
Please. This all happened to me 2 years ago. Everything financially turned around, and I've been trying to work at all kinds of projects. I had car dealership. It wasn't until I brought God in my life and sobered up after now 12 years. And when all that turned around, I needed a God and another human being in my life here on earth that I could be totally honest with and circle myself with the right people. And that just evolved. And here we are doing all kinds of, things I never imagined at 70 years old that I would do. So please don't use the excuse, I'm disabled, I'm too old, I'm too young. Man, my mind has always did the most damage to my future than anybody else. But thanks to Robert and people like Robert that I brought into my life.
I love you. I love you, Corky.
Anyway, thank you guys so much. God bless you.
I love you.
I say that with my deepest feelings. I ask God to bless you.
Thank you. I'll take it. Continued blessing. God bless you forever, Corky.
Thank you.
Bless you, Corky. Thank you so much for sharing. And a definite shout out to Melody Ryba for also participating.
Yes,
Melody.
thank you, Melody.
Thank you so much for your words of wisdom as well. And Corky, bless you, my friend. We're thinking of you. All right. Bill Shoemaker, Jerome Marshall, hands up. Ola has a question, so I think we're going to go ahead and get these three people in.
Okay.
Let's go to Bill Shoemaker first. Please open up and share with us.
Thank you, Craig Jackman. You are incredible.
Bless you, my friend. Thank you.
Congratulations to Corky. Now, he revealed something that's very important, and it's his imagination and his vision that he has and he carries and he focuses on continually. That's why it's happening for Corky. And it's great to hear Melody. Thank you, Melody. We all love you and just love hearing your voice. And, I'm one of those people that have been following you, Robert, and being on all these AMAs. And I'm always here.
Yep.
And one of those people that, like Corky says, hasn't done anything. Well, that's not entirely true. See, the mother of all learning is repetition. And even though you may not see it on the outside, something's going on the inside and little by little. So the reason I keep coming back, this is my point, is that I needed you to wash my brain, to brainwash me, to be a different person. So it's starting to take effect now. I'm starting to do more videos, contacting more people. My confidence is getting stronger. It's all as a result of following you and listening to you on a daily basis. Just keep putting it in my head day after day after day, video after video after video. So that's the reason, Corky, that we keep coming back, is because we want to change.
Yeah.
We want to reprogram our minds. And I promote the crap out of you all the time.
Yeah. And there's not a doubt that you do, Bill, and I love and appreciate you for doing that. And
Right.
again, the biggest thing that I've been telling people, I think at the end of 2023 is it's pretty difficult for us to go out and impact other people's lives when we spend 24 hours a day beating the shit out of ourselves.
Amen.
And Corky can contest to this. When I first met him, again, because we've known each other for years, we keep popping in and out of each other's lives. And number one thing for Corky when we first reconnected is, of course, he wanted to be a part of MDC. He signed up right away. And now he's doing this ball juggling thing. You know what I mean? Where he I don't know if I want to be a life coach, a professional network marketer. I want to build social medias, but which one? And so it's to watch Corky allow someone like me to speak into his existence and basically tell him, this is what you're doing. This is what you got to do. You got to drop these other things for now. Because I don't know, in doing this, I don't know how many people I've trained and coached over the last 37 years. But it's in the millions. And most people, like Coach Bob talked about, we get so busy doing, we stay so busy with every moment of our lives doing avoidance activity. And so it's easier for us to get another coach. It's easier for us to subscribe and buy a couple of courses. It's better for us to buy other books. There's all these things that we would rather be doing than actually focusing on and doing the thing that we're supposed to do. And so when Corky started questioning himself, that I went live and I was on for this amount of time, and then I was on live and I was on for this amount of time, you could immediately see that Corky was second guessing his efforts and his focus on doing Cory Santa on TikTok, because he was just questioning it. And that's why he had the other things that he had involved. As soon as he allowed me, and I mean allowed me, to talk into his life and say, listen, focus on this, just focus on this. But you still heard him come on this AMA and sort of apologize for not plugging in because he felt like he wasn't given to me. You see what I mean? So when do we stop beating ourselves up? I don't know, probably never. I probably never, no matter what we're doing. I watched an interview with a couple of very successful people today, and both of them were talking about, again, the whole concept of the people that are the best and the very best at certain things, you'll see them retire. Or they're changed what they're doing. Why? Because they thought that very thing was going to give them joy and fulfillment. They really thought hey, if I hit the top rank in a company, that'll do it. And then you get there and it's like, that it didn't do it for me. But it wasn't by accident that me and Corky closed up with what we're talking about, with both having testimonials of people that impacted us on a social matter, because we were the right person for that right person at that right time. And that's my new addiction. You know what I mean? My new addiction, instead of winning, I used to focus on, the science of achievement. And now I'm focused on the art of fulfillment. So that's where I could see, me going there. That's where I can see Corky and even Melody. It's like, what if, just here's the thought. What if you didn't need anybody to do anything to feel that peace and fulfillment? Because when you say that you're a personal coach, that means that for you to be who you feel you think you are, you have to receive results in other people you're coaching. Boy, did I F up on that. And the reason for building a blog was to get noticed on the internet, to create leads so I could build a relationship with people that I could get in my business. See, as soon as I paid that much money to Ray Higdon and then did exactly what he told me to do, again, for over a year, and I didn't sort of crush it, I crushed it. Big time. And then me and Matt are having a conversation in the very office that we're in now, almost 6 years ago, going, man, this sucks ass. You know, so it's like, it's easy to say that you don't like it and it's not working for you when you're not putting in the effort. What if you put in the effort and it still sucks? Lesson learned. Lesson learned. You know what I mean? So I believe that a majority of the people are doing things that other people are doing because that's what they're doing, and you think they're successful, but you really don't know if they are. So that's why I got the books. That's why I have the brand. That's why I sold the courses. That's why I became a life coach. Is because I thought all those things were going to be the answer to what I was looking for. And because I measured my results based on other people's achievements, I suck really bad at it. Does that make sense? So if one person shows up, and you'll hear this from artists, right? Think about this. The people that fell in love with what they did, like the tipping point, you know, what is that? Maxwell Gladwell. I always dyslexically mess up his name. You know what I mean? But it's the outliers, right? The Beatles that loved playing all day in smoky strip joints are the people that we know today.
Malcolm Gladwell.
Thank you, Craig. So when you read stories, that's why I love documentaries and success stories from everyone. Because when you hear what these people accomplished, and then you find out that they were doing it because they thought it would make them feel socially acceptable and that people would be proud of them and that they would be famous. And then they get to that point and it's not there. In fact, they're more empty than they were before because they sacrificed their family and relationships and their children, you know, to all get this thing that they thought everyone will pat you on the back and say, oh my God, you're a great person now. And you get there with all that sacrifice and hard work, and there's no one to even celebrate it with because you basically, you know, got that mentality. If you're not going with me, then you must be against me. So I think you guys are seeing that I'm still learning myself. You know, what I want to achieve more in 2004 is, again, to make a bigger impact. And through that impact, make people feel like they're part of something that's giving back to the world. Because they don't know how to do it on their own. So a majority of my life, I've always felt good as the participator. Like one of the top donors for, you know, St. Jude's Hospital or Starkey Foundation or the Zweigel Foundation. Well, why did I do that? Well, it's easier for me to give to somebody else that's doing the work than me doing the work. You know? And so, yeah, when you start creating things that you're going, listen, I need to start taking a little more responsibility for the amount of impact that we have. And so now, like I said in some of my other videos, I'm watching the universe conspire to make us winners. And so if you weren't doing this for money, would you still do it? See, so some of you are doing things for money and you're still not doing them. What would that say? All that's saying is that there's more comfort and complacency than constantly putting ourselves in a place of feeling uncomfortable. No one likes to do that, including me. I have just worked over the years where the things that I know that I don't want to do or don't like doing, I can not only do them, but I can do them with a great attitude, knowing that I'm going to find a harvest and that it works every time if I'm willing to go plant the seeds and go through the numbers, that I'm going to get a harvest. I just know that's going to happen. And now that's why Corky's getting the success he's getting. Because you heard him say that the stuff that he imagined, he thinks about all the day, and he's each day he's got evidence of him getting closer to his goals, closer to his vision. So thanks, Bill. Did you have a question, or did I just go off?
That was awesome. I just want to add too, Corky, that, you know, I'm a recovering alcoholic as well. And we both had AA to pull us through it, right? So that's what this is. AMA and the inner circle is the support system for all of us, because we all have the same goal in life, but we can see that we're all not, you know, perfect, and, you know, we're not alone. So that's another reason why I show up, is it's a support system.
Yeah, we just replaced one of the A's with an M. It's just
That's it. Love you guys.
Love you too, Bill. Thank you so much.
And Bill, thank you so very much. Corky, thank you so much for being, you know, who you are, and for being a part of our group and sharing.
I told
Jerome,
Craig, I told Craig, we're 20 minutes into the game. We gotta, it's the playoff game's happening. You know,
okay.
So you're watch. I see some of you going, hey, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Yeah, it's like, so let's finish up with Jerome here and call it a day.
All right, Jerome, you got it. Let's get her done.
Go. Hey, I'm gonna be quick here. Robert, Craig, Santa, Corky, I still got our picture, man. So you're awesome. Everybody's awesome. Billy, you're awesome. Everybody's awesome. This is a whole family. Craig, I apologize, man. That was Lydia that was trying to get in, man. The happy
the happy gardener.
Happy gardener. Yeah.
Oh, so now if Peter and Linda already left, they thought we were talking about them. That's funny.
Yeah, like you got to change.
There was a happy gardener, Peter.
Not to be confused with the golfer in the movie Happy whatever.
Gilmore,
thank you.
Gilmore. But,
Jerome, thank you. As long as you understood where we were coming from, that's the most important thing. Yeah. It's not that we didn't want to have them. We don't know until we know.
Yeah, and tell them really, if you guys know that there's some people popping up, tell them to change their name to a name that sounds like a name, and put their, put some kind of picture on there, and just let us know. If you guys are inviting people to the AMA, just very quickly, just say, send Craig a message, or when as soon as we jump in, hey, Craig, by the way, I have, Happy Gardener coming in, and now
I have no idea. I have no idea. On our LinkedIn DMs, she's Lydia, so I was like, okay, he let Lydia in. I didn't know about the Happy Gardener. So, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's very simple to change the display name if you go into your profile on Zoom.
Yeah.
And it is actually an actual box that says display name.
Right.
We don't see it a lot. And it was like weird when I first started looking at it, and I was like, how do I explain to these people? Oh, there it is.
Right. No, it's all good. She understands now. And I also gave it the YouTube link as well. So, but I also wanted to give Grace Joseph a shout out as well, because she's one of Lydia's friends, and her and I go be meeting after this to get things together, because she said she felt at home already. I'm like, yeah, this is family. So let's I told her, let's get together and let's get you going. And
that's awesome, Jerome.
Yeah, no problem. And last but not least, real quick, I want to give my man James Saunders a shout out. Y'all gotta check him out. He he brings the inspiring message every Sunday at his church, and it's awesome. So y'all should check him out. And if y'all need the link or whatever, I'll get it to you. But yeah, Melody. Oh my gosh, Melody, you took us to church. She took us to church, and I got church after this. So this is awesome. But no, this is wonderful. This is part of my routine. I love being here. I love being amongst you guys and ladies, and you guys have helped change my mindset, especially with God as well. I'm honed in on helping people, getting people to their goal. So this is actually awesome, and thanks again. And I continue to tell people about the AMAs, about Inner Circle. So I'm cooking behind the scenes to let people know what's going on. And Robert, I blast you every day, man. So
yeah, just honestly, just keep doing what you can, and just keep getting a little better. Just that's really the key. Melody is always so special to me. And if you guys don't mind, I'll leave you guys with a quick story that reminds me of Melody all the time. And again, this is not, I'm not a biblical theologian or anything. It just follows the story, so a lot of people believe that, that once you go to heaven, what if the maker basically said to you, well, based on what you did is where you get to come in. Well, think if you were so prideful and had such an ego edging God out that you go to heaven, and when you go there, you're expecting your home to be in the same inner circle as Jesus.
Right.
No, I think a lot of you would probably humble yourself a little bit and go, I'd like to live in a close suburb next to him, you know what I mean? Or whoever you believe, but you probably wouldn't think that you would have a house next to us, right? But the story goes where this guy, his grandfather was a pastor, and then it was sort of like a story of Joel Osteen's, right? Where his grandfather was a pastor, and then his father was a pastor, and now he's a pastor. So you're looking at, lineage and years of people dedicating themselves to God and winning people for Jesus. So he shows up, and of course he's let in. And when he gets shown his house, it's not in the inner circle.
Right.
And he's like, looks up there and he goes, wow, what did those people do? If I dedicated my whole life to winning people to Jesus, what did they do?
Right.
And the person that was showing him his house said, oh, you know her. You know one of them. And he goes, what? And so he goes up there and knocks on this door, and this beautiful lady answers the door, and he's going like, Melody. Oh my God. And they hug and kiss and everything, and say how happy they are, and they're going to get together. And then he's walking back and he's going, so I don't understand, why does Melody so close? And she said, well, Melody prayed every night for your grandfather. And she prayed every night for your father. And she prayed every night for you. All three of your generations are responsible for bringing people to heaven because of Melody's prayers. So sometimes we think the person that we see doing the work is the people that get all the praise and recognition, when we don't realize that we have beautiful friends like Melody that are always behind us, helping us getting to where we go. So that's what Melody means to me. So, Ty, if you don't mind, I want to leave it right there. Okay, let's leave it right there. So, Craig, let's go ahead and shut this out. Ty, if you want to send me your private message, I'll respond to it immediately.
Or definitely, Kai, come back with us on the next AMA or Inner Circle, and we'll definitely let you know or get you going here. Thank you all so very much. What an amazing AMA. That's the reason why it's AMazing, because you are involved. Plus the fact, okay, yeah, it does say ask me anything, but you make it AMazing.
Amen.
If you want to save the chats, if you're in Zoom, very simple. Just click on the 3 dots in the chat and then click on Save Chat at the conclusion of this video. The information in the chat will download to your computer, so you have it right there. That's all the links that we have shared as well. If you're on YouTube, the links are already there in the chat. And what links we do have, we will be sharing in the description below the video, after the video, shortly after it all renders and goes through all of its stuff. So it will be there that you can go ahead and find. Got to give out a shout out to all of our participants today: Coach Bob, Santa Corky, Melody Ryba, Bill Shoemaker, Jerome Marshall, and of course to our executive producer, Matt Hollis. Matt, bless you. Thank you. I know you contributed in the Zoom chat. Thank you so very much. We always look forward to that contribution as well. And thank you for being part of our incredible journey as we go into 24 with the AMazing Robert Hollis. Bless you, my friend. Thank you so much for being who you are, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. And as we say so long, I'm going to go ahead and unmute the people that are here in Zoom, and we all get to say so long together. Have a fantabulous day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Love you
guys.
all.
Love you. Everybody. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank
Matthew.
you so much.
Thank you, Corky, Melody.
Bless you all. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Ah, there we go, Corky.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you so much. Happy farmers.
Thank you so much. See you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter and Linda.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Kevin. Bye, Jody. Bye, Deborah.
Robert, I
Daniel.
love you. It's so good to be here.
Thank you, Deborah. I love you. Thank you. Thank you, Linda and Peter again, and Grace. Thank you, guys. Thank you.